Well, hi. As you may or may not know, I'm actually right now off on my hollybobs, and I asked a few friends of mine, other creators, if they would want to produce a video to fill in one of my slots. One of them is Mr. WheresWally, a great channel I've been a long-term subscriber of, and he sent me a video detailing the history of his channel. He has just hit 6,000 subscribers and 1 million views. It's quite a ride. He's dealt with an awful lot of stupid. I'll put a link to Wally's channel up here and in the description below. Don't forget to check it out. Give him a few likes, maybe a subscribe. I think, Wally, we'll just hand it over to you. Roll VT.
G'day everybody, WheresWally here, and I'm not Mr. Sensible. He is AFK for a bit.
Wally, what on earth do you think you're doing?
So you've got me today, and look, I'm so happy to have this chance to basically do a whole pile of shameless self-promotion in the guise of a 6K backpack. At 6K, 2 years and 600 videos, almost, a lot has happened, so roll VT. Hey, I always wanted to say that.
Stop it.
Now, my first public video was me disassembling the lens of a P900. Now, Wolfie gave me this dead P900 and I fixed it, and I made a full video about just how to do that. And later, Sleeping Warrior wandered by too, and that was a fun day when he realised that the guy was helping him with his IR P900 was also slapping him rather hard about his RDD silliness. Now, the links to all these videos that I mention are in the description as always. Now, the first time that I tested the zoom lens on a plane, I got this, and what a globe sign it was. The sun had already set at ground level, and yet 11,000 metres up, the plane was visibly in full sunshine. At that point, I was hooked. Now, I uploaded heaps of ISS livestream footage over the years, and when I saw these bright random lights, I discovered the South American anomaly was a thing. I never knew that around South America the Van Allen belts dip down low enough for the ISS to pass through them, and this light show can be rather spectacular. Now, my first real flat earth debunk video was the 1,000 miles per hour at the equator nonsense. Now, I decided to speak too, and tell you what, it's a bit of a shock hearing yourself the first time, but this was a simple video. 1,000 miles per hour of something really huge, well, it actually turns out to be something that's rather slow. So what is the linear speed of a very tiny high-speed drill bit?
Now, this is to look at what happens with a high-speed rotating, very small diameter object. I reckon this will take about 2 seconds to suck that right up. Here we go. Okay, well that worked really well.
0.35 miles per hour it turns out. So according to FE Dogma, we could all live very happily on the surface of a high-speed drill bit. Yeah, right. Then there was Starman, and I was like a kid in a candy shop. The things we could see from the Starman cameras 5,000 kilometers above the planet were as numerous as they were amazing. Now, my cunning plan was to show how real the video was by showing how well it matched other video sources. I saw this really beautiful crocodile-shaped cloud from Starman, so I went and looked for it on Himawari 8, Epic Discover, Elektro-L, the Russian satellite, and the ISS, and found it on every single one. Boom. I did another scientific experiment to debunk the old cold moonlight nonsense. And Sean Harford, he loved it, and he gave me my very first shout out, and I think I went from 300 to 1,000 subs in a week. Wow, what a ride that was.
Of the globe Earth, and the glue that is to make the whole heliocentric model stick together, and that is of course gravity, external force. Of course we have to imagine that this is a ball in space, and then of course we have no up and down in space, but then on a ball, down is towards the center of the globe.
Then my first FE debunk video was a Phuket Word video, and this was simply a re-editing of one of Nick's videos where he was playing with a ball in a tub of water, And amazingly, I only had to remove about 10% of his nonsense to make it make total sense. That was fun.
Whatever.
Next came GreaterSapien, and after the poor guy copped it and he was ripped off by some scammers, Wolfie took pity on him and asked him if he wanted to come to Australia, seeing as no flat earthers had ever accepted his offer. And of course GreaterSapien jumped at it. He came to Australia and he took a flight from Perth over the Antarctica and back again, and he went with Critical Think, and those guys had a great time in Perth and flying backwards and forwards.
Hey everybody, just left the Antarctic flight. I want you to see how they just hide things in plain sight. Look at this right here. Air BP. Look at that. Air BP. They're using compressed air, people.
But then when Jerry left Sydney for Johannesburg, that was a 14-hour flight and was fully logged and videoed, and from the luxury of first class. Thanks again, Wolfie. Now, I was lucky enough to get my hands on all the video and all the GPS data, so I was able to make another matching things up video to show that the plane did actually go about 62 degrees south. And a fun fact, at 62 degrees south, the Qantas plane was actually flying slightly faster than the Earth was rotating, which was well cool. So for about 4 hours, the sun stood still. Well, relative to the plane anyway. Then Antonio Subrats. He was my default chew toy for a while, and when one more orbit circumnavigated the globe by flying over both poles, Antonio was there, ready to hunt down every anomaly he could to try and pull down one more orbit. But of course he failed.
Anyway, I think whoever made this map up is a little bit of a dim-dim, but as all my regular listeners know, I'll use this map to show you. Okay, I was going to pull one up. And here you are. Just imagine for a second, right, that they fly from Florida across like this and reload in Astana or Nur, whatever they've chosen to rename it, fly south, not over Saudi Arabia, not over the Arabian Peninsula, south, and turn to land in Mauritius and carry on turning and land in Antarctica and refuel, but obviously don't tell you because they're hoodwinking you, and then take off and fly over through Punta Arenas and back to, well, Florida. That was easy.
The best fun I had with Dim Dim, as he'd become known in those days, was when Simon Dan had sent me his copy of The Book of the Sun. So I did an unboxing video, and Dim Dim's reaction was priceless. Let's have a look.
I'm just going to say this, okay? And this is just simple. This is just a very simple thing. Where's Wally? Okay. We know that there are some half-wit, crazy globelings out there. There are also some crazy, half-wit flat earthers out there. It might be a good idea to not show your home address on a video. That's a stupid thing to do. So don't do it again, you freaking moron. And I'm saying that out of the kindness of my heart.
Anyway, so Mr. Gullible fell for that one. That was funny because it took him, I think he had the whole 2-hour hangout thereafter. Rock Lover and Medusa were telling him, hey, read the label again, read it again, it's a joke, it's a joke.
Wait, Rock Lover says something. Antonio, rewatch Wally's video and look carefully at the postal address. I've seen it. I've showed it in this hangout. I mean, I didn't freeze frame on purpose to highlight it, but like, dude, he shows his postal address, for God's sake. What a stupid thing to do.
The next chew toy was that guy, and there were no less than 25 videos made about him. He was fun initially because he would respond to every video I made, but being corrected, I guess, every time is really hard on an overblown ego, because after that he started to ghost me. So let's have a look at that guy.
Let's hear the genius. That is WheresWally.
Do I need crayons to draw this out for you guys?
Yeah, you need crayons to draw this out for me, please.
Okay, don't have any crayons or a whiteboard at the moment, but here we go. There's a big Earth right there. And so if we put in a dog pile of atmosphere, and that's all the way around, they all support one another. Just like that. So this one here supports on there, we support on the side there. We'll have each one all the way around. Each one is supporting one side. Okay, no. There's no edge, it's wrapped around it, also wrapped around the other way. Too easy, eh? You know, that guy, this is actually so easy that you won't even need to.
Just tie a knot in it. You got me, Wally.
Which is the most worthy? Well, was it the one the other day where he claimed that there are different types of magnetism? Yeah, truly he did. Was it the many times that he claimed that no globelings have ever explained any of his proofs? Was it the time that he claimed stellarium isn't a globe model, it just simply reflects reality in a totally precise and perfect way? Maybe it was the time that he claimed he makes no claims.
This would be the sun. This will be the Earth. And this will be the moon. Right? Sun, Earth, moon. In a line. This will be full moon. That's midnight. That's noon facing the sun. This is the only place that full moon occurs, dumbasses. Where could I stand on the daytime side to see the sun, which is actually 93 million miles that way, and a moon that's 250,000 miles in the completely opposite direction?
Oh, look, I know this. I know where you can stand. How about on the Terminator?
Just tie a knot in it.
But then one day that guy made a claim where he said if I could answer his questions, he would delete his channel.
Demonstrate it. Measure declination on a globe using a compass. I'll take down my channel, Wally.
And of course I gave that a go, and I think I did so very well, and so did Starman Dan, because he mirrored my video. And with that, that guy went away. Well, props to him for being a man of his word on that at least. And of course my subs went from about 2k to over 3k. But that guy, he left YouTube, but he's still on Facebook, known as Judson Mary, and still being just as silly. And thanks to Super Sal for bringing me this little bit of video of his nonsense from Facebook. It was then that I found Level Earth Observer. He became my new chew toy, and still is. Let's have a look at my first LEO video.
G'day everybody, WheresWally here. One of my long-time subs, French Crow, sent me on a bit of a duck hunt, and I wasn't disappointed. Apparently this Level Earth Observer has blocked French Crow, even after just one comment. So let's go and have a look and see what he's got. I had a bit of a hunt down his videos and stopped at something to do with the ISS, one of my favourites. So let's have a play and see what he's talking about.
Now, this official footage supposedly shot from the ISS would suggest that the ISS has just flattened the globe. Let's have a look. I would suggest anyone put a straight edge up against that Earth's horizon. You'll see that it's totally straight. I'd like to know how that works on the ISS when we get to see usually gigantic amounts of curvature.
We usually see gigantic amounts of curvature. Well, then why are you questioning this? Is this image somehow pandering to your desire for flatness? Ask yourself, why dismiss many images in favour of just one? I think that's showing up your biases, Leo.
And someone please explain to me why this footage from the supposed ISS is showing a totally flat Earth.
So you want to know why you're seeing relatively straight horizon. Could it be because the camera is zoomed in at this particular point to capture the moon as it's setting? Here is what we would normally see from the ISS. And by the way, this is a lunar eclipse we are seeing there, so this in itself is a globe sign for me. Now compare that moon to the moon. Let's have a look at the same moon about 10 hours later. The shadow is gone and we see a glorious full moon. Okay, now let's just zoom in till we see the moon about the same size as Leo's image. That he is admittedly cherry picking like a seasonal fruit worker on his last day on the farm. Well, would you look at that? When you zoom in on a small part of a large curve, it appears to be relatively straight.
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on.
One day a black swan raised its head and I had to slap it down for QE's sake. Let's have a look at that.
It only works on a spherical ball in a vacuum, mate.
Here is the actual argument. Modus tollens. Holy shnikes, this is going to leave a mark.
Gonna hurt, you reckon, Kiwi? Okay, take your best shot. Is that it? Is that all you got? Okay then.
If P, then Q. Not Q, therefore not P. Listen closely to the argument, Globies. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's Q. That's the geometric horizon.
Now this is the point where he pulls a Pookie cigarette lighter switcheroo. Up to this point, QE is talking about geometric or theoretical horizon, but we would only see this if the atmospheric refraction was 0, which is frankly quite unlikely.
Not Q, because the horizon distance is greater than 9.41 miles. Therefore not P. The Earth is not a sphere.
QE keeps getting geometric and apparent confused. I guess it'll take him about 9 months before he realizes the mistake he's making.
The Baltard spinning space monkey community, please allow me to introduce to you your black plague, the black swan. There it is. Bye-bye, ball.
And QE, did you not stop to think for a second that what if the ballers flip this modus tollens around, as in P, flat Earth states that the Earth is literally flat. Then follows Q that the distance to the horizon is very far and we will never see a clear horizon edge. You can see where this is going, can't you? Whoopsie. 8, give him a soft slap, will ya?
Ouch, that's got to leave a mark. And to help those who want to believe that the ISS is real, I made an 8-step program for them to validate the ISS for themselves.
And this is just how easy it is to show that there is a man-made object following the exact path of the ISS. Okay, so you just look up on a tracker site like Heavens Above, look up the ISS visible path for your area, and you're all set. It's that simple. You just go and stand outside at the appointed time, and if the sky is clear, there you have it. That visible pass is proof in itself of a globe, because there is only one reason that the ISS above you is in full sunlight while you're in darkness.
And then came Mitchell from Australia. Well, he gave me a beautiful debunk, one unlike any other. It was also an excellent video from the ISS. It was star trails from space, and they were awesome.
That there is a globe, and the ISS is travelling around it at 17,000 miles per hour, which is one orbit every 90 minutes. But by judging by the length of the star trails, it would have taken over an hour to get this footage.
Oh, Mitch, but you're wrong. You forgot that the ISS is 16 times faster than the Earth. It goes around 16 times. So you need to divide 1.45 hours by 16, and now you get 5.5 minutes. So that star trail is likely a stacked set of images captured over 5.5 minutes.
And of course I shredded his fancy, and his flirt daddy, Sleeping Warrior, he attempted in vain to white knight for Mitchell, which went well for me.
In a field full of stars that are all rotating, it's very likely that you could just pick a close match to it, and we wouldn't know that it is or is not Polaris. You just found a star that matches the observation where it's supposed to be and claim that that one's Polaris. And how would we know that that is Polaris?
Wolfie and Movie Vertigo pointed me to a technique called plate solving. That was absolutely brilliant. So this allows me to answer Anthony's questions. First point, well, maybe I did misidentify Polaris, but now I've got it exactly right. And of course, Polaris was not the center of rotation of this ISS star trail. Now, second point, I did a little bit of the old pixel counting. I love doing this sort of stuff. Never really see many flat earthers doing this, though, do we? From the plate solve, it told me it was 72.2 degrees across the image. I went, oh beauty when I saw that, because that now means I can figure out a scaling factor, which was 10.25 pixels per degree. Now, armed with that, I can measure the distance in pixels, and then I can figure out how many degrees from the center point of rotation to Polaris. And guess what it turned out to be? Well, I measured 51.8. What is it actually? 51.6. So less than 1 degree. I got it. Now why is 51.6 special? Well, because that's the inclination of the ISS orbital plane. Fancy that. Well, I'm going to call that a huge win, Sleeping Warrior, Mitchell from Australia.
And this is the end of Mitchell from Australia.
The next win that I had was with Wolfie6020. Now, I was shooting the breeze with him one day and I asked him, mate, you know the Himawari 8? It's a geostationary satellite, right? You can see it at night. If you were to point the big scope at it on the night of the equinox, and the Earth's shadow would sweep across it and it would blink out for a bit, yes? To which Wolfie said, hold my beer, and he's done this same set of time lapses each time at the last couple of equinoxes. He found a group of geostationary satellites, pointed the scope at them, and the results was amazing. You see the shadow sweep across them so that they all blink out in turn, and then an hour later they all blink back on again as the shadow passes. It was absolutely brilliant. Well done, mate. Well, the last video I have for you guys was super sweet. Flat Earther Harry from Sydney posted a video of a rising full moon and he caught a plane. I had to know all about it when I saw this. When all the spreadsheets were spread, the answer to how far away that plane was around 138 kilometres. Now this is cool, as often flatties try to debunk ISS transit photos by saying, oh, you can't see a 747 100 kilometres away, man. So how would it be possible to see a similar sized ISS at 420 kilometres? No way, man. Limited eyesight, refraction, angle of attack, you know. I guess the main problem is that it's incredibly difficult to get 100 kilometres away from a plane to be able to see it from that distance. Difficult, yes, but not impossible. I will show you in a minute. I show in this video that indeed you can, and the scale matches perfectly too. At 5:54 UAE 499 was at minus 34.009 latitude and 152.705 longitude, making it 138 kilometres away from Harry. Excellent video, and I really thank Harry for letting me play with that video. It is spot on. Now I will keep poking the flatties, and I'm not going to let them get away with any of their non-science nonsense. Now my preferred style is to use a sound grab from the target numpty to end my debunk with. So flatties, that works really well, doesn't it?
I don't know. I don't entirely know exactly what's going on.
Not saying I know exactly how everything works.
Now, I may not be a smart man.
Why are people laughing? I've not heard anything funny yet.
What's up, Wally?
Something just doesn't look right here.
That's all I've got to say. What a scam.
I just don't know what to say.
Ooh, geez, you make yourself look all clever there, WheresWally.
Whatever.
It's shocking.
The guy's a moron.
Just tie a knot in it.
I will also keep promoting small new channels to pump them up, to do the FE wrecking as well. Now my minions, as I like to call them, are people like Hugh Chars, Mission Control, Mr. 42, and recently Jesse 10-2. I'm sure there's others I've probably forgot. If I've forgotten you, I'm very sorry. I'm doing this off the top of my head, which is usually a bit silly at this time of the night. Now these channels are always keen to rip into the derp too, which is why I like them and I want to see them grow. So thank you Mr. Sensible for allowing me to do my rough as guts 6K celebration on your channel. You know, I was ahead of you in subs at around the 3K mark, but well, you're doing a much more professional job than me, so you well deserved, mate. And thank you very much. And thanks everyone. All that's left now is for you to do the click and like and subscribe to me and to Mr. Sensible if you haven't already. And then open up the description and watch all of those videos that I just recommended. You won't regret it. I hope. Bye guys.
Okay, so if you like that, how about you click and share and subscribe and be the first to get in on the next fun little adventure into destroying the flat earth. Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to literally destroy this little thing here.
Thanks for that. Great stuff, Wally. I can't recommend Wally's channel highly enough. So don't forget, when you pop over, tell him that Mr. Sensible sent you. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Until then, stay sensible.
Shut up and sit down.